How to build a successful career is a subject I've been asked to talk about. So I'm assuming that you are in the position that you are going to have to build your career. I'm assuming you are in the position that you are not having somebody who is pulling you up. It's a very important point. It's a very important point. One of the first questions you must ask yourselves in your professional lives is, am I being drawn along or am I not? Having said that, this slide actually I drew, the changes in the line are in fact my career. So what do you suppose is the easiest change you make? There are 5 changes on the chart. What do you suppose is the easiest one? The hardest one in any event is the first change. The hardest change is the first change. For all the wrong reasons, you fall in love with your first company. You know, in the motor industry, I have a little method I use. And when people come to me for interview and they say, oh, like that, they go, oh, if you open my heart, you will find your logo. I heard it in Volkswagen, I heard it in Renault, I hear it often in Peugeot, the Lion. Funnily enough, don't take this badly, I never heard it in Fiat. But one thing is for sure, the moment you hear it, the first thing you do is to say, be careful. So the first change you make is the most difficult one, and you're quite right. On this chart, the most easy one was the second one. And the reason is very simple. I was sacked. So I think really the first point here is that a career, or the second point, the career is made of upsies and downsies, okay? It's not just made of upsies. And one of the key things you must remember are the 2 words I've added, right? In my business, in sales and marketing, you know, and luckily, so you're a manufacturing director, so you're hidden from this. One of our problems is we've got huge egos, or as we used to say in England, big heads. And what got me the sack was my big-headedness. And I didn't get the sack again after that, because I learned from it, okay? But it's most unpleasant. If you can avoid being sacked, I recommend it to you. So don't be modest. By being modest, you will get nowhere. But be honest with yourself. I think that's really the key message of this first point. We'll come back to this if you have any questions. Now, when is the right time to move? There is no time that is too early. There is no time that is too early. There is clearly a time when it's too late. And the only person who knows when the time is right is you yourself. So the time to make the career change is when you feel yourself capable to take on the position you're seeking, and when you feel obviously capable of finding the job. Now this is a very important slide. I have found over the years that there are 2 people you can count upon to help you in your career change. The first one, you will have already understood, is you yourself. And the second one is your N+2. Your N+2. So if you're an entrepreneur, you'll have to think carefully who it might be. May not be somebody at work, in fact, indeed. Maybe an advisor. But I'll tell you 2 people it's not. I'll tell you one for certain, and one where perhaps I'm a bit provocative. One person for certain who will not help you, it's your boss. That is for certain. Because whatever happens, he has a vested interest, either in stopping you moving or in making you move. But 2 people you can count on for your career development, you yourself, bearing in mind what I put on the first chart, remember who you are, remember some degree of modesty, and your N+2. you're N+2. What do you risk? You risk somebody saying, he's going round my back to see my boss. Yes, you probably are. And that is indeed what you should do, if you want to develop your career. A few words of personal advice. When you are talking about career development, know your subject. Know your subject. Every time I have changed jobs, and I've only ever changed jobs within my industry, I have always been able to say to myself, I know how to do their job they're asking me to do. The second thing, honestly, this is very personal advice. I said I'd talk as little as I could about, but don't forget to do some work yourself. Huh? Don't just sell the work of the people who work for you. Many, many, many people come unstuck when they move jobs because they suddenly realize they're being asked to produce. And they can't. They can't even do PowerPoint. So don't be frightened of getting your hands dirty. Now, obviously, I'm not here to give you any marital guidance, but one thing I am here to is to give you some professional guidance. And one thing you must do is always tell the truth. Okay? You must tell the truth.